Psalm 34 verses 2 to 3, 17 to 18, 19, and 23. The Lord hears the cry of the poor. I will bless the Lord at all times, his praise shall be ever in my mouth. Let my soul glory in the Lord, the lowly will hear me and be glad. The Lord confronts the evildoers, to destroy remembrance of them from the earth. When the just cry out, the Lord hears them, and from all their distress he rescues them. The Lord is close to the broken-hearted, and those who are crushed in spirit he saves. The Lord redeems the lives of his servants, no one incurs guilt who takes refuge. David is telling us that deliverance from trouble or anxiety is promised to the humble, the broken-hearted and the repentant. Deliverance comes in different forms and at different times. Sometimes deliverance comes only after we have suffered for a while, because we need to learn the intended lesson. We tell a lie about a product that we know that doesn't perform as advertised, but we don't care. After all, we unloaded it and made a profit. The customer leaves, guilt sets in. Have we lost the opportunity to turn this customer into a repeat customer? A few days later the customer returns and wants a refund on the purchase. Our conscience tells us to refund the money in full, apologize for the product not performing as advertised, and recommend a superior product. You see the beauty of this. We learned not to lie, not to ignore the wants and needs of a customer, but instead to develop a loyal return customer. Dishonesty causes anxiety. As a result, we recognized that we brought the anxiety or trouble on ourselves. We learned the desired lesson and were delivered from our anxiety when we made the refund, and out of humility, apologized for the product. Thus we restored balance not only in our life but the life of the customer. As David pointed out, the Lord is close to the broken-hearted. No one is immune to life's problems or trials. When Mary visited the tomb on Easter Sunday morning, Jesus' body was missing. She was broken-hearted and broke into tears. Then a man spoke to her. She thought the man was a gardener, but it was really Jesus. She didn't recognize him because her vision was clouded by the tears. When sorrow comes into our lives, we, like Mary, have trouble seeing its purpose. Remember, these trials can't come into our lives without God granting permission. Job chapter 1, verses 9 to 12. But Satan answered the Lord and said, Is it for nothing that Job is God-fearing? Have you not surrounded him and his family and all that he has with your protection? You have blessed the work of his hands, and his livestock are spread over the land. But now put forth your hand and touch anything that he has, and surely, he will blaspheme you to your face. And the Lord said to Satan, Behold, all that he has is in your power, only do not lay a hand upon his person. So Satan went forth from the presence of the Lord. Notice that Satan couldn't test Job on his own, he had to ask permission. Everyone, good and bad, have problems, but only Christians have access to the great physician, Jesus, who can heal all our sinful ways if we ask for the help. Matthew chapter 9, verses 9 to 12. As Jesus passed on from there, he saw a man named Matthew sitting at the customs post. He said to him, Follow me. And he got up and followed him. While he was at table in his house, many tax collectors and sinners came and sat with Jesus and his disciples. The Pharisees saw this and said to his disciples, Why does your teacher eat with tax collectors and sinners? He heard this and said, Those who are well need a physician, but the sick do. When you have a toothache, I'll bet you'll search for a dentist. When you believe you are spiritually healthy, as did the Pharisees, your pride will stop you from seeking a great physician like Jesus. Thus, Jesus made himself available to the sinners. Psalm 34 verse 18, The Lord is close to the broken-hearted, and those who are crushed in spirit he saves. Psalm 34 verse 22, The Lord redeems the life of his servants, none of those who take refuge in him will be condemned.